I'm not gonna look 22 again. This is just not gonna happen. But how can
Oh
I love the
gosh.
body I have now? And welcome back to another episode of Mind Your Space. And today we have Jerry Ann. Jerry Ann, how are you?
I'm here. I I'm learning some new coping mechanisms and I got some good advice, so I think I'm making good strides. How are you, Queen?
You know what? I'm doing I'm doing okay today. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Yeah. It's been a crazy
Amen.
weekend, but we
Mhm.
here. We got through it, and that what matters the most.
Amen.
By the
True.
way, you look fabulous. You look really good.
Thank you. I mean, what would I do for your skin though, Queen? Your skin is flawless, girl.
For real?
Yes.
You know what?
Always
Thank you
have
so
been.
much. Thank you so much. Like for me, I'm like it's a struggle, but I guess for other people, it's like, oh, you have nice skin, and I was like, I appreciate it.
It's true.
So how is baby?
Um, she's doing new things every day that surprises me. I'm seeing
Yeah.
more of her personality coming out, and I'm like, look at you. You just born the other day, but she's doing so well. She's beautiful and energetic and opinionated for a little over 4 months old. But how is baby boy?
Baby boy, he's full of energy and life, and I think that's the most important thing. Like his, as his dad say, babe, Jay get his personality from you. And I was like, okay, yes.
Oh,
So it's a lot.
that's the best though.
Yeah, so it's it's we are getting there. But I want to know how is mama doing?
How am I doing? And I'm trying to not give like my go-to answers for this and honestly think about how I'm doing.
Yeah, because I'm not
Um,
asking you for just, oh, I'm good.
yeah, right? Because my natural answer is I'm fine. How am I doing? I'm coming into my truth.
Hmm.
I am accepting where I am, but also I'm starting to see that light at the end of the tunnel. I'm starting to feel that hope that things won't always be stressful. I won't always feel like I don't know what I'm doing, and things will be looking up soon. You know what I mean? I'm let's just say I'm in that hopeful stage. I'm in a hopeful stage right now.
Which is good.
Mhm.
It's really good to be hopeful. Trust me. Because when you don't have hope on this journey, the road get really bumpy. So having hope is that how to be that driving force to push you to continue, just to hold on.
Yes.
So yes, and so that's what, because you touch on it. That's what we're gonna be talking about today. Kind of similar to like what are the things that affected us as we become mothers or change as we become mothers, whether it be negative things or good things. Because there's a lot of
Hmm.
things that change in our life that we wasn't expecting certain things. And so
True.
yeah, Jerry, and what are some things that has changed in your life on this journey?
Wow. Okay. So I think my perspective
Mm-hmm.
on what looking happy or what being happy and what being joyful looks like, that has changed. I feel like before becoming a mother, I was focused on I'll be happy when X and Y happens,
Right.
you know? Always waiting on the future, always saying in 2 months, in 5 months, or when I do this, when I achieve this, I'll be happy. But now, after having my baby girl and not wanting to miss anything, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I've kind of realized that happiness, joy can exist right now if
Yes.
we just accept things the way they are and just embrace what's happening now, you know? I've just learned
I
to look for joy in the now.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Look for joy in it now. Look for joy in it now. And I think I always tell people that we, like I say, we head to the destination. When this happen, I'm gonna be happy. And I was like that. Like I've done it so much times, and I tell myself, when I finish my degree, everything will be good. Hello. Who you lying to? I've been lying to myself for a very long time, and I keep pushing back things, pushing back my happiness, and we shouldn't.
Hmm.
Like we shouldn't. I've been looking at the destination and forgetting to enjoy the journey, and that's what I've been doing. And I realized that, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do that anymore. I'm gonna enjoy these moments,
Right.
despite how I feel this morning, because this morning was really crazy, right? And I told myself, I'm not gonna have a bad day. Things just didn't go according to plan, and when things don't go according to plan, I break down sometimes, and I
Oh
get
yeah.
overwhelmed, and my whole day is messed up because of that. And I'm like, oh
Hmm.
my goodness, I have to cancel everything, and I just don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah. And
Yep.
this point, I was like, no, uh, we're gonna get through
Mm.
this. Did I cry? Yes, I did.
Yep.
Did I cry? Yes, I did. I did for a moment. And then
Hmm.
I breathe and I continue because I knew that it's up to me.
Yeah.
It's up
Yeah.
to me. And it's up to you, moms. It's up to you to have a wonderful day or to have a sorrowful day. It's really up to you.
I love that. It has to be a deliberate choice for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You have to make that declaration and stick to it because there is power in making up your mind.
Mm.
You know, deciding that life is good and life is going to be good no matter what happens. So that
Right.
life is not just happening to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can take the bull by the horns and kind of direct your course a bit. Because then, if you are not prepared to maintain that joy no matter what, anything can come and knock you down.
Oh my goodness,
Anything.
yes. Anything. And it's so crazy because sometimes we find the smallest excuse to just not do something. And for the past, like
Mm.
before, when that happened, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm just not gonna do this because this happened. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not. And I keep saying, I was like, I need to get out of this funk. Like, this is not who I am. This is not me.
Hmm.
How can I change this? How can I work to become who I need to become? And it
Yes.
was, and just for a couple of weeks that was happening, and I knew that I didn't want it to continue like that. So I had to change something. And so I realized
Hmm.
that um, I had to jump on a call with a friend, and for those of you who don't know, I am pregnant right now, and
And
so
congratulations.
thank you. And so I've just been really out of it, and I don't want to say making excuses because it is a really tough time and morning sickness, all day sickness. You know how it is, and so but I let that control my life, if that makes sense. And I'm like, no, I can't. And then so I keep making excuses. And I was like, no, I'm not going to. So I got up 5 o'clock. I jump on the call with my friend, and we did what we had to
Oh
do.
my
Like
God.
5 o'clock. I know, right? But
Mm.
I'm like, if I don't do this, I'm gonna continue making excuses.
Hmm.
And that was the point of me changing my mindset,
Yes.
reevaluating myself, and like I said, taking the bull by its horn and directing my path. And so I had to do that. If I didn't do that, I probably would not be on this call with you today.
Ah, I have to commend you on that power and strength because deciding to do something and the follow through, actually following through is two totally different things. So I I applaud you on that. And I think it's so important to celebrate these little victories when you actually do
Mm-hmm.
what you say you're gonna do, because that gives you that boost. You get that dopamine from the accomplishment, right?
Yes, you
And
do.
knowing
Yeah.
that, girl, I did that despite whatever was happening. So I'm proud of you, Queen. I'm
Thank
proud of
you.
you for that.
And it's eating it. It don't need to be something like huge. I think when we make promises to ourselves and we don't keep them, that's where the downfall happens. And we
Mm-hmm.
find ourselves in this cycle of not fulfilling the things that we need. We don't feel fulfilled, one, because motherhood take control of our life. But when we have these small things that we set out for us as, Jerry, and not
Right.
the mom, you know what I mean? To do, and we don't accomplish them, we fall back into that cycle. And I realized that was happening because if you make a promise to yourself and you're not keeping it, then how you can keep anything else? And
Yes.
how you can actually become who you need to become?
Mm-hmm.
And so it starts from there. If you make a promise to make your bed in the morning, I know some people, they might look at it as a simple task, but that can transform the way you view things. I remember with Jay, that was my first task. I was like, I have to make the bed in the morning. And it brought me a sense of fulfillment. And just keeping that promise, I have seen myself grow because of making my bed.
Yes.
But it wasn't like, oh, making with my bed. It was the follow through with it. Now I can follow through with everything else that I promised myself that I need to do.
Oh yeah, and you can knock little things off of your list and just
Yes,
keep track of that.
exactly.
That's amazing. Because now that we're talking about the bed thing, okay, during my pregnancy and even now, with my daughter, when I feel like I don't have the energy to move around, sometimes I eat in my bed. I do. Okay? I eat in my bed and it gets crummy. Like I drop crumbs, okay? And the decision to, hey, you need to get these things off the bed, get these crumbs off of the bed, brush it off. I sleep better, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And when I sleep better, the next day I have more energy, I have more patience, and I have more tolerance
Yes.
for potentially annoying and frustrating situations. Because when I don't
Yes.
get my sleep, I mean, it's true. When I don't get my sleep, I mean, I know that some people say that they get hangry when they haven't eaten, they get angry. That's not really me. If I haven't slept, that's when my monster comes out. And so, yeah, just brushing off the bed, cleaning it up, like you said, it allows me to have that peaceful, restful night so I can be a happier me the next morning.
Right. And I think we need to do what would get us to that point. Don't put aside the things that if you do this, it would take off a good load off of you, but still you're not doing it. So then you're more frustrated, you're more irritated with your child and your husband and yourself, and just you would just be in that funk. And to get out of that, you just need to commit to doing what you say you was gonna do. That's just about it. Everything has changed actually when I decide I was going to be a mother. Um, and just today, I accepted something. I didn't realize I accepted it until I actually thought about it. I accepted my body for my body today. And
Mm-hmm.
that is a lot. If you know me, that is a lot. Um, and I didn't realize that it was affecting me this much. You know what I'm saying? And we won't know, becoming moms, your body change.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one change that is going to happen, whether you like it or not, with a lot of people, right? And so
Yeah.
I saw my friends back home, right?
Mm-hmm.
My friends posted, and they were sure, basically they were like having fun, and beach vibes, how bikini, and I'm like, I was so happy for them. Like I could see their body, and I'm like, wow, you go,
Look at
girl.
you look
Yeah,
good.
yeah, you look
Yes.
good.
Mm-hmm.
And I was genuinely happy for them. And that's
Yeah.
when I accepted my body. I realized that. That's when I accepted, oh, yeah, I don't have a flat stomach, and that's okay. I have tiger stripes on my stomach, and
Right.
that's okay. In fact, I have a big line, from getting my C-section, and that's okay.
Okay.
And I think today I realized that I accepted it because I was able to be happy for others. And
Mm-hmm.
I and no matter what, I feel like that's when I accept a lot of things, when I could see others and don't judge, be like, oh, I wish I can have this body. Or, it's not
Yeah,
going to
the
happen.
envy. Hmm.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's spilled milk. I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. It's done. What?
The jar needs to be thrown away. The box is empty. Yeah.
Exactly. And so, for you moms out there who, anything like me, who really admired their body before and looking at their body now and realizing, oh my goodness, it has changed so much. How can I get? You're not gonna get back there. Like you need to accept. Sorry, you need to accept that you're not gonna get back there. You're not gonna. I'm not gonna look 22 again. This is just that's not gonna happen. But how can
Oh
I love the
gosh.
body I have now and make it into something beautiful that I would be like, oh my goodness, you know what I
Right.
mean? And so I need to focus on that instead of me like
Hmm.
crying over spilled milk, if that makes sense. So I'm like, okay, I can exercise. I wouldn't get back to where I was, but I'm gonna be comfortable where I'm at now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And the thing is, you can do such a marvelous job on yourself, even with just, you know, that confidence,
Yes.
that you're able to summon and
Mm-hmm.
display, that nobody'd even know that you feel like you're lacking something or you feel
Right.
different.
Yes. But
And
you know what? Oh, sorry. Go on. Yeah.
no, you're fine. You're fine. I was just thinking about something that changed in my physical appearance that I had to come to terms with. Now, during my pregnancy, I mean, okay, back to being a black woman growing up as a little black girl, the things that I used to believe about um, standards of beauty, leaning
Mm-hmm.
towards probably the European aesthetics of straight hair, long hair kind of thing, not believing that it was in my genes to grow long hair.
Right.
Eventually, I went on my natural hair journey, embraced my natural hair, got my hair growing and going, and I felt good. And I got comfortable with my hair that I didn't really worry too much about trimming or if I did a heat style every once in a while. And then during my pregnancy, that hair, that mane became gorgeous and luscious, and I was feeling beautiful. I was feeling myself. I was
Yeah.
I was like, thank you, baby and hormones. My hair was glorious. And then after pregnancy, I still had a bit of it. I still had a bit of it. But I think my first mistake was deciding to braid my hair. I braided my hair
Yeah.
and um, the postpartum shedding hit.
Mm.
And it hit me wicked. And I had those braids on my hair, which would have been fine. But all of a sudden, my baby girl decided that she's Tarzan or she wants to be George of the Jungle, and she started to swing on my braids like they're vines, you know, rip my hair out from the roots, you know. And then I got to a point where I'm like, okay, I need to take these braids out and see what the damage is. Child, I bawled. I am bald. I'm looking at it. I'm like, I don't know. You're seeing my cornrows. You're like, oh, those are neat. No, no, no. There's no hair. It's like, those aren't neat parts. It's where hair should be. And I was when I'm just in the shower, just combing out my hair and just collecting clumps and clumps of it. I had very two distinct and opposing paths present themselves. I could become upset. I could mourn my hair.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I could do all kind of drastic things because I'm like, all right, great. Now my beautiful hair is ruined. But I decided in that moment. that hair is hair
Mm-hmm.
and it grows back.
Yes.
It replenishes itself eventually. And I don't have to feel less beautiful because my hair is not what it used to be.
Right.
You know, body, hair, everything is changing. And I decided, okay, it's all right. I still have who I am, still have my
Yes.
personality, and the crown might be, a little messed up right now, but it'll come back. And I'm not
Yes.
gonna let that deter me from having my joy, you know?
That is amazing because a lot of us struggle with postpartum hair loss. Hence, my hair is no more anymore. Like, there is no more hair anymore, and you you know how much I cherish and value my hair.
You were hair goals for me, girl. You were hair goals for me.
And this might sound weird, but I think the Lord, He really everything that I said, Lord, you took away everything that I valued. And you did that for a reason. He cut me down. He like
Humble, humble queen.
exactly. I was like, Lord, everything that I like physically, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yes,
Physically
yes. Mm.
valued and cherished, it was no more. Like pregnancy just gone. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
it did affect me. I ain't gonna lie. With hair loss, is a lot of women struggle with it because they don't understand a lot of stuff that is going on. Our hair grows in cycle. There is the growing
Mm-hmm.
phase, the resting phase. I think it's 3 or 4, how much ever. But when you're pregnant, it's in that growing phase,
Yeah.
so that's why it look luscious, and it just grew and it just looks really nice. I remember how thick and full my hair was, but like when the postpartum happened with the shedding, like clumps was just falling out. Clumps of hair
Mm-hmm.
was just falling out, and to me it was hard. But like you say, I had to make that decision, and I went from I think I probably lost like 6 inches of hair, like from the length 6 inches, and we're not talking about the thickness. Just like hair was eat way gone, the
Mm-hmm.
back eat way, and baby boy was not. He didn't help because it's so weak. When they grab, it pulls. He was just
Mm-hmm.
ranking out hair,
Whew.
and it was mentally draining. I couldn't
Mm.
keep up with taking care of baby boy, trying to find myself, and then having to deal with my hair. And so I did straighten it for a while because then I can just brush it back and not think about it. And
Yeah.
then it come a time where I'm like, yeah, I don't like straightening hair, so we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
cut this. And so now I'm okay with short hair. I've never thought that I won't be because people say, oh, you look this way with short hair, you look that way with, but I don't care what people say. I'm gonna embrace me and who I am, and that's okay. And so for me, am I gonna grow back my hair? Yes, I know how to grow hair. I'm gonna take
Mm-hmm.
care of my hair by steaming it every week. So if you're going through this, if you have hair like us, or you have straight hair as well, you can go ahead and steam your hair. Go ahead and just steam your hair and try to take care of it every week. And what I mean, buy a deep conditioner, buy a nice hair growth oil, or even make your own oil. Rosemary and fenugreek goes
Yeah.
a long way. And so
Oh,
make your own oil and just massage those areas. And over time, you will see your hair starting to grow back, and it will come in luscious and healthy again. Like honestly. And so I know that because I've grown my hair out. I've cut my hair and I've grown it out many times. So I know how to take care of hair in order for it to grow. And so now I'm not sad. I'm like,
mm-hmm.
okay, I can grow this back. Yeah, I can do this. I can do this. And so yes. So those of you out there who going through this, as Jerry I say, it's here and it will grow back. Just learn
Oh
how to
yeah.
take care of it.
And obsessing over the hair loss will only make it fall out more.
I
The
know. Yeah.
stress will make it fall out more.
Yeah, and I mean, some people don't experience it as bad, but then there are some people here just fall out, and
Oh
so
yeah.
like I said, the Lord was just with me. He was just extreme with everything, and He really humbled me. And so I'm just like, yes, Lord, I do need to focus on other things that is not physical.
Yes.
And so,
Mm-hmm.
um, go on the mindset journey and do all of these soul searching stuff so that I can be a better wife, a better mother, and a better me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really nice. But those are like some big changes that happen. And another change that people don't really talk about is, girl, my love language change. It changed more than once. It changed while it was when we was dating, it was one thing. In our marriage it was a next. When we had Jay, totally different. Like
Oh
my
yeah.
touch and everything was, don't touch me. It was no more about touch. To be honest, I didn't even know what it was. I didn't even think that I had it in me to see that part. Yeah, so our romance, it was not there, at least for me. It was not there, and because I didn't think about it at the time. I was so focused on Jay that everything else was we put on the back burner, and which can be detrimental to any marriage.
Yeah.
Being able to, yeah, and so we had to, so those are the things that change within me, within our marriage. And Clint and I had to sit down and talk about it, and I was like, he's like, babe, I remember when you used to do X, Y, and Z. See, that was back then, honey.
It's
That
not
was back
now.
then.
Times have changed.
Yeah, it's like, he's like, so I didn't thought that, I needed to do this because I never did that before, and it was there. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Yeah.
Right.
And I was like, babe, well, times change, and this is my love language now, and this, when you do this is what, like, get me in that
Mm-hmm.
mood. It's not this anymore. And I
Mm-hmm.
never thought to communicate that for him because I didn't even realize what was happening with me. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And
Yeah.
so we had to sit down and have that conversation.
Yeah.
So
That is
yeah, that
so
that's one
true.
thing that changed.
I mean, and okay, I have two thoughts about that. Sometimes, like in my situation, it's not necessarily that my love language changed so much, but there's just obstacles, there are factors. So I am very much a physical touch and a quality time person.
Okay.
Spend time with me, sit on the couch, we'll cuddle, all of those things. I need that to feel whole. But after having our daughter, what I realized is that I became starved of that affection, you know? No more cuddles, no more hugging, and that's because it's either my husband's holding my daughter or I'm holding my daughter,
Right.
right? And she is definitely I want to be held all the time type of baby. And then I realize in the moments where like he's going to work and he hugs me or he has come home and he hugs me, that's when I feel like a void is slowly being filled. And I realize that, man, I was being starved of this affection and this quality time. I remember that we'd just sit on the couch on our days off and we'd just cuddle and watch a movie and do all of these things, but not even being able to watch a movie together. That's not as easy as it used to be because there's always a baby who needs something and always a baby who is crying,
Yes.
right? And I'm just looking at this girl always in my husband's arms. And I'm like, young lady, that's my husband. I want a hug. I
Right.
want to cuddle with him. You know what I mean? And yeah, so you become starved even if and you have to be very deliberate about these things. And as
Very.
a new mom with a new mom anxieties, I wasn't very reluctant to say, okay, I can put down the baby for 5 minutes and let her cry just so that I could have a hug, you know?
Yeah. That's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, because there's a part of me that feels like, oh, that's so selfish, you know? But in terms of the love language changing, or I'd say my needs changing a little bit
Right.
when it comes to the house. Truly, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom, or even if you're not a stay-at-home mom, but your home is supposed to be the place that you have peace, right?
Right.
And I figure that for women like us, we need a tidy environment so that we can relax. When it's been a stressful day, when the baby has been tearing the house up and lifting off the roof with her screams, and you need peace when you look around and you see chaos in your environment, right? Your mind cannot relax. Your mind is still in that state of absolute confusion. And for me, sometimes my house looks like what I'm feeling like mentally, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if while I'm doing the dishes, when my husband comes home and he has the baby, and I'm doing the dishes and he's trying to hug me or whatever, and I'm trying to sweep and he's trying to hug me, it can kind of tick me off. It can kind of tick me off because I'm like, sir, if you're not helping me fix this place so that I can fix my mind, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. Right? Let me. And it's also my way of trying to regain some semblance of control in my life. Let me fix the
Right.
place around me so I can fix my mind. But if I
Mm-hmm.
am trying to fix something and you're trying to mess with me, you're going to set me off. Right? So I have
Right.
said to him, hey, you see, when I'm trying to work, when I'm trying to take control of my environment and boost my morale, just allow me to do that. Either you help me or just allow me to do that.
Right.
And we've had to have that conversation. But you see, when the baby is okay and she's asleep and the place looks good, and I don't feel like, oh man, I'm failing at adulthood, I need to do something, when I don't feel like that, then great. Green lights,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
road is clear. You know what I mean? The traffic is gone. Go ahead. But
Yeah. Yeah. You see, and that's something that a lot of people afraid to realize. And there's a lot of studies behind there with male and female. We are very different. Um, we are very different, right? For a male, it takes nothing. For
mm,
us, it's you have to navigate. Yeah, there's a lot of things. It's a map, okay,
the
to get to
mind
the
has to be right.
exactly, and our mind
Hmm.
have to be right. And so that's one thing that my husband didn't understand, and because I didn't communicate with him, he was confused because yes, I
Hmm.
wanted him to touch me, but he just never had the right timing. So yes, I don't mind baby touch me. Yes, cool. Yes, rub my back stuff. But don't try to rub my back when I'm doing the dishes. And that's the thing. I would be like, he's like, so you want me to touch you? But then you don't want me to touch you. So wait really is. I say timing, like you're timing off. And
Yes.
so just having to like communicate with him. I say, babe, yes, I want this, but I don't want it at this time because
Right.
I need to de-stress and I cannot focus on anything else if this is not done or that is not done or this is not tend to. All of these things need to finish before you can do anything.
Right.
And so I had to communicate. And I think that's the biggest thing with couples, not communicating our feelings. Or not
Yeah.
having a spouse that is understanding of our feelings. That could be something too because sometimes when you try to communicate, your spouse get defensive. And
Right.
so because of that, you don't want to communicate anymore because you know the outcome of it. And if that
Yes.
happening, I always tell people, hey, if you think you're in a situation like that, couples therapy is open. It's open. Like go ahead and do it because we did it. We did it to help. And to be honest, even if it's great, it's okay to do a session, a random session. Like it's okay. I tell any, I know I'm not. Some people don't believe in it, but it helps a lot. Just being able to communicate. So yeah.
Yeah. And with that communication, and we mentioned follow up earlier. With the communication, we also then have to set plans, set dates to actually do what we said we're gonna do, right?
Yes.
Because I was talking to my brother, I was talking to my
Mm-hmm.
big brother. He has a baby girl right now, too, who is exactly a year older than my daughter, right? They were born in the same month, different years. And I he was just asking me genuinely how I'm doing and how um motherhood and adjusting is happening for me. And I was kind of relating my stresses. Anywho, he said, yeah, all well and good, but remember that your connection between you and your husband, you cannot allow that to falter, right? He said to me, and I think this was such profound advice, because here I am unintentionally becoming a helicopter parent, right? In
Mm-hmm.
one of your in one of your earlier episodes, you talked about how trauma can affect the way you view things and how you experience things. I feel like
Yes.
some certain traumas affect the way I mother, right? I want to protect my baby from everything, which means that I don't really get to relax a lot, right? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I have to be with her every second of the day. I don't really trust people to do this and that and blah, 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 right? But he said to me, um, yeah, but your baby is important. She needs you for sure. She can't take care of herself. But what your baby also deserves is to be in a home where the mother and the father are getting along and they love each other. And if you don't make time for each other, your relationship is going to disintegrate,
Mm-hmm.
right? Your relationship is going to wither away, and the atmosphere of love in your home will suffer and be depleted. So allow the grandparents, to babysit. Allow whomever that you trust, of course, to babysit so that you guys can have that date night, so that you guys can follow through with those communications and that plan. You can't allow your marriage to suffer, because what is going to hurt your child more is a broken home.
I 100% agree with your brother. Because can you
Yeah.
hear me? Because right. And just I was watching this guy talking about family, and he said he put his wife first. He put his wife over his kids, basically. And in the
Yeah.
comment section, people was,
How
people.
could you
But
do
he
that?
explained that it's not that he would, they have it wrong. They started to think wrong. It's not like if you're gonna
Yes.
just leave your kids and just tend to your wife. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But he's saying that he's nourishing that relationship that they have, because just like what your brother say, you need time. You need to set
Right.
aside time. Just like how you're taking care of your child, you need to take care of a relationship. And in
Mm-hmm.
the beginning of you becoming a mom, the first year, I would say, it's very hard to do that,
Yeah.
especially if you don't know how to, and there
Yeah.
is no one around you to help. Like I say, your mom is not like, you trust your mom. Let me be honest. You trust
Mm-hmm.
your mom. If your mom come, it will be easy to hand off baby girl. But your in-laws, it might be a little
Yes.
different, right? You will have to build that, right? And so and everybody have a different family dynamics and the situation and stuff.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that at the beginning, for at least for the first 6 months with me becoming a mom, that wasn't at the fore. It wasn't at the forefront. It
Yes.
wasn't there. It wasn't something I was thinking about. I wasn't thinking about my husband. In my mind, I was like,
Yes.
boy, he can do whatever. I need like, I was so selfish. I was being selfish, and I didn't realize how selfish I was. And I didn't realize how much damage I was doing to our relationship. Even though he didn't say something, you can sense it and you can feel it. And realizing that, I'm like, okay, we need to take time to do certain things. I need to prioritize, and I need to put his needs as well in front there, in front, not on the back burner. And so,
Mm-hmm.
on our needs, I would say, and just like tend to our marriage, because if you know that's for a plant to grow, it need the sunlight, it need the water, it need good soil,
The
like
water. Mm-hmm.
it need all of these things, and if it don't, then it would die. And it's the same thing with our marriage. And I think people don't realize that, or we tend to we go down in this rabbit hole, like, or we just digging it deeper and just assume that everything will be all right. And when they take you up and it's like, how did we get here? It
Mm-hmm.
started with that first child, honey. Yeah, it started from quite there that you didn't even realize, because you just never put his need there. You never put his need first. It's okay. It's okay. You're not being a bad parent if you put your husband needs in front of your child. If you know what I'm talking about, you understand what I'm talking
Right.
about. I'm not saying fling
Yes.
your child on the bed and just forget about him or her.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
It's
believe
about
that
carving out that time to put your
exactly
husband's
to
needs
do.
first, right?
And a lot of people might think, oh, this is not spontaneous. Excuse you? Hello. Like, for me, I'm like,
That is for
you're
teenagers. I'm kidding. Jokes.
exactly. I'm like, you are not a teenager anymore. You are not 22 anymore. You are not single anymore, or dating around or
Mm-hmm.
playing the fool. You are married, and you have to take care of a family,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
that's what you're doing. So yes, you're gonna
Yes.
plan. If you need to plan that's fun time, you're gonna need to plan
Mm-hmm.
it, and that's
Right.
totally fine. I told my husband, I said, okay, Jay going in daycare for 2 days for the week. You need to come off work. Like,
Yes.
yeah, it's like
Yes.
two. You just
Yes.
need to figure out which
Yes.
day.
Mm-hmm.
I remember he messaged back and said, babe, I'm gonna get this time and this time. Maybe we can do dinner. And I was like, okay. He's like, just make sure get ready. So like, I'm enjoying this late thing. Like, I think even though we plan it,
Yes.
it's fun.
Of course.
It's fun. So
Yeah,
I
just
know I'm gonna get an outfit. I'm gonna, even though it will be probably 2 hour break. That's okay. We could go out and actually have dinner and enjoy that space, enjoy our time
yes.
together without Jay being running all over the restaurant. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
So I'm excited actually.
Listen, loving, I think it's called loving responsibly. You know how they said drive responsibly? You
Yes.
know, um, you have to love responsibly as well. It's not just puppy love anymore. You have a lot at stake. You
Oh
know,
yes.
you put your futures together, so you can't afford to be reckless with it and not
Mm-hmm.
tend to it, and let it fall apart. I know that during the pandemic, so many couples, when they became stuck with each other at home, their marriages broke, their
Yeah.
relationships broke because they fell out of sync. I don't believe that people just fall out of love. I believe that they
No.
fall out of sync, and
Mm-hmm.
they sometimes just don't know how to find their way back to each other.
Back.
And it's the same thing with motherhood. What my brother was saying to me too is that you don't want, when your daughter or your children are grown and out of the house, and then you guys are left alone with each other, you
Mm-hmm.
don't know the person that you're living with,
Right.
right? Because that is the truth of the situation. Our children will leave.
Yeah.
Mothers, your children will leave you,
They're gonna
right?
leave.
And when Jay finds his wife, and when my daughter finds her husband, and
Yeah.
all of those great things, and they're off vacationing in Hawaii or whatever, we'll be left alone with our spouses.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd be lucky. They'd be so busy living their best lives. We'd be lucky if they call us every day or
Yes.
at least once a week. So it will be
Exactly.
back to the two of us, you know? And we have to keep that foundation strong, because even though our children will be out there living their lives, when it's time for Christmas dinners, Thanksgiving, whatever it is, they want to come home to a happy home where their
Yes.
parents still love each other, right? Because I would like to believe, and I know it is true, that our children are love children.
Mm-hmm.
They were
Mm-hmm.
made out of love, right? Don't let it be their fault by the way we set up our priorities. that their parents are no longer in love. That's
Yes.
not fair to them.
It's
Yeah.
not. It's not. I 100% agree. And like, oh, and just the other day, Clint was like, babe, Jay gonna get a girlfriend eventually, you know. He's gonna be hanging out with his friends. He's not gonna be at home as how he is here. So it's like, yeah, like he's gonna be living his life, and we just have to accept that he's not gonna be around. He's not gonna be here for all that time. And so we really need to find things that we enjoy because they're gonna leave. If your hobby is your child, you need a new hobby. Please stop. So, some people say, "Oh, I enjoy being a mother." Is that all that you do? Because if you will always be a mother, but when they leave, what are you gonna do? What do you have? You know what I mean? What you
Hmm.
and your husband have, like, have you cultivated that relationship? Like all these different things, and I just want to say to you, as you become a mother, everything changes. But it's not
Hmm.
what don't look back, just look forward. Look forward at the possibilities that can become, and that that this can happen, the possibility of you and your husband being so in sync. You know what I mean? Like that is amazing. The possibility of your kids coming home to a healthy household, not a dysfunctional household. And so,
Yeah.
especially if you grow up in a dysfunctional family, and a lot of us grow up in dysfunctional family and household, you don't want that for your kids. You want them to come back and you want them to be able to feel that love. And so, in order for that to happen, it needs to start now. And so,
Amen.
that is my 2 cents when it comes to just enjoying the journey as it go. And thank you all for just being a part of this family and minding your space.